I walked into my parents' house just in time to hear the words that made my blood boil. "Wash those dishes properly, you useless girl." The voice was my mother's. And the one standing on a wooden box, her little arms lost in a sink full of soapy water, was my daughter. My Lily. 6 years old, tears streaming down her cheeks as she struggled to scrub a plate bigger than her hands. And behind her, my nieces, laughing. My parents scolding. As if my little girl was a servant in their kitchen. I'm Ethan, 34, and everything in my life revolves around Lily. She isn't my blood, but she is my daughter in every way that matters. I adopted her at 2 years old. The first time I saw those big eyes and shy smile, when she grabbed my finger with her tiny hand, I knew, this child was mine. But my parents never saw her that way. From the start, when I told them about the adoption, their faces hardened. "Why don't you just find a woman and have your own kids?" My mother asked, like Lily was some mistake. "She's not our blood," my father cut in. "It's not the same." Those words stabbed deep. But I ignored them. I thought love would win them over, that in time they'd see the sweet soul Lily is. I was wrong. Still, I helped them. Years ago, when they both lost their jobs, my father after his factory shut down, my mother after she couldn't find stable work again, I stepped in. I paid part of their mortgage so they wouldn't lose the house I grew up in. Every month I sent money. Not small amounts either. I did it because family should stick together, or at least, that's what I told myself. My sister Anna lived there too, with her daughters Emma and Grace, 7 and 5. They were the little princesses of the house. My parents spoiled them, showered them with gifts, took them to the park. I was happy for them, really. But I couldn't ignore how differently they treated Lily. Whenever all 3 girls were together, it was as if my daughter became invisible. No attention, no games, no warmth. I brushed it off, thinking maybe I was exaggerating. Maybe they just didn't know how to include her. One day I convinced myself Lily needed more time with her cousins. She was such a sweet child, always smiling, always eager to make friends. I thought leaving her with them for a day would be perfect. Besides, I had an important meeting at work. My mother smiled when I asked, promising Lily would be fine. That morning, Lily left with her little pink backpack and the brightest grin. "I'm going to play with my cousins, Daddy," she said, and I kissed her forehead. I drove away at peace, certain she was safe. How naive I was. By the time my meeting ended, it was nearly dark. I rushed back, excited to hear Lily's stories about her day. But when I pulled up, the front door was half open. Inside, I heard harsh voices. It was my mother's. "Wash those dishes well, you useless girl." I froze. Then I stepped inside, silent, and what I saw shattered me. Lily, my baby, was crying at the sink, forced to scrub dishes while my nieces mocked her with toys in their hands. My parents stood over her, yelling, as if breaking her spirit was nothing. "What is going on here?" I roared. Lily dropped the plate, leapt down from the box, and ran straight into my arms, clinging to me like she'd just escaped a nightmare. Her little hands were wet and shaking. "Daddy, I'm sorry. I don't know how to wash dishes," she sobbed into my chest. Something snapped inside me. A rage I'd never felt before burned through me. "Why is Lily washing dishes?" I demanded, my voice trembling with fury. "Why do you have her standing here like a servant while Emma and Grace laugh at her?" My mother walked forward, wearing that fake calm face she always put on when trying to excuse the inexcusable. "Ethan, calm down. We're just teaching her to be useful. It's good for her to learn young. Don't be so dramatic." Dramatic? I nearly choked on the word. She's 6 years old. She should be playing with her cousins, not scrubbing plates bigger than her head. And you call her useless on top of it? What's wrong with you? That's when my father finally spoke. "Look, Ethan, it's not such a big deal. We just asked her to help. Anna's girls don't have to do that because, well, they're our real granddaughters." Those words hit me like a punch. Real? I said, my voice low but full of contempt. So Lily isn't real? That's why you treat her like garbage? Because she's adopted? My mother tried again to soften it. That's not it, Ethan. We just want her to be responsible. We're not treating her badly. But her words rang hollow. Lily clung tighter to me, trembling, and all I wanted was to get her far away from them. You've never loved her, I said, staring at them both. Not once. You've spoiled Anna's daughters while making Lily feel like nothing. What kind of grandparents do that? My father's voice rose, sharp. Don't cross the line, Ethan. This is our house, and here we do things our way. If you don't like it, take the girl and leave. Period. That was all I needed to hear. I lifted Lily into my arms, grabbed her little pink backpack, and walked straight out the door without looking back. As I reached the car, I heard my mother yelling, "Don't exaggerate, Ethan. Come back." But I didn't. I couldn't. On the drive home, Lily stayed quiet, staring out the window. I tried talking, but she only gave one-word answers. Then, in the softest voice, she asked, "Daddy, why don't Grandma and Grandpa love me?" I swear my heart shattered. How do you explain to a 6-year-old that some people can't see beyond blood? They don't know what they're missing, sweetheart, I told her, forcing strength into my voice while crumbling inside. You're the best thing that's ever happened to me. I love you with all my heart. That's all that matters. That night, after tucking Lily into bed, I sat in the living room with a beer in my hand, fury still burning. Every cruel comment, every slight, every time they ignored her while spoiling Emma and Grace came rushing back. And I made a decision. I wouldn't support them anymore. Not a single cent. If they couldn't love my daughter, they deserved nothing from me. I called the bank and canceled the mortgage payments. I cut off the allowance I'd been sending them. The next days weren't easy. Lily was quieter than ever, spending hours drawing. I tried to cheer her up, brought her toys after work, took her to the park on weekends, bought her favorite ice cream, but her smile didn't return easily. Weeks later, as I was making dinner and she colored in the living room, my phone buzzed on the table. It was my father, Robert. I hesitated, then answered. His voice was tense, almost desperate. The bank sent us a letter. The mortgage is overdue. What happened? You always paid it. There was even reproach in his tone, as if I owed them. Pay it yourselves, I said coldly. I'm done. You're not getting another cent from me. I heard my mother's voice in the background, choked with tears. Son, you can't do this. It's our house, the house you grew up in. We don't have jobs. Please, don't be so cruel. Cruel. The word set me off. Cruel. I shot back. Is it cruel to stop paying for a house that isn't mine? Or is it cruel to scream at a 6-year-old that she's useless while forcing her to wash dishes she can't even reach? Tell me, Mom, who's the cruel one here? Silence. Heavy, guilty silence. I could picture them staring at the phone, scrambling for excuses. Finally, my father's voice came, trying to sound firm. Ethan, you're exaggerating. We just asked her to help. It's not a big deal. She has to learn to be useful. Useful? I hissed, lowering my voice so Lily wouldn't hear. She's not your servant. She's my daughter. And you humiliated her. You made her cry. You treated her like she doesn't belong, just because she's adopted. Do you think I didn't notice? I said into the phone, my voice shaking with rage. How you ignored her. How you always pushed Lily aside while showering Emma and Grace with toys. I'm done helping people who treat my daughter like trash. My mother jumped in, her tone suddenly pleading. That's not true, Ethan. We just wanted her to be responsible. We don't hate her. It's just, well, it's different. Anna's girls are our blood. It's not the same. Those words cut like a blade. Different, I repeated, feeling a lump in my throat. For me, there's no difference. Lily is my daughter. I love her more than anything in this world. But for you, she'll never be enough, will she? She'll always be the adopted one. The one who doesn't count. I took a breath. Well, that's it. I don't want you near her again. And I'm done paying for you. Figure out your lives without me. I hung up before they could answer and blocked their numbers. There was no turning back. Weeks passed. Then Anna called, her voice furious. Ethan, how could you? Mom and Dad were evicted. The bank took the house. They're on the street because of you. I looked across the room at Lily, who was laughing softly as she built a tower of blocks. Her smile gave me strength. It's not my fault, I said calmly. They chose to humiliate my daughter. They had her washing dishes while your girls played with toys. They called her useless. Anna, do you really expect me to keep paying for people who make my little girl feel worthless? She snapped back. You're selfish. All this over some silly thing. They're your parents. And all because Lily washed a few dishes. Exaggerating? I cut in. Do you know what Lily asked me that night? Daddy, why don't Grandma and Grandpa love me? Tell me, Anna, how do you answer that? No, I'm not exaggerating. They crossed a line. And I'll never let anyone treat my daughter like that again. If you care so much, I finished, then you help them. I've already done enough. And I hung up. Not long after, the doorbell rang. I thought it was the pizza I'd ordered. But when I opened the door, there they were, Robert and Margaret. Wrinkled clothes, bags under their eyes, holding plastic bags with the last of their things. Please, Ethan, my mother begged, tears in her eyes. We have nowhere to go. The bank took the house. Just let us stay a little while. My father, usually so proud, couldn't even meet my gaze. Son, we didn't mean to hurt Lily. It was a mistake, he murmured. A mistake. I looked toward the living room, at Lily, curled up in a blanket, laughing at her cartoon. Then I remembered her tear-streaked face at the sink, her tiny hands trembling over dirty plates. A mistake. I said coldly. You humiliated her. You yelled at her. You treated her like a servant while spoiling Anna's kids. And now you show up here asking for my help. Son, we're your family, my mother whispered desperately. You made it clear Lily isn't part of your family, I said firmly. And if she isn't, then neither am I. Leave. Don't come back. I shut the door on their pleas. For a moment, guilt twisted in my chest, they were my parents after all. But then Lily looked up at me from the couch and smiled, and I knew I had done the right thing. From that day on, my world was her. I poured every ounce of love into her, filling her days with games, laughter, and peace. Slowly, her sparkle returned. One night, while I tucked her into bed, she looked up at me with those wide, shining eyes. Daddy, I forgive Grandma and Grandpa, she said softly. I don't want to be sad because of them. I broke down. How could a 6-year-old have a heart that big? I hugged her tightly and whispered, no one will ever hurt you again. I promise. Lily forgave them. But I never did. I heard later that my parents ended up in a tiny rented room, living off scraps. Maybe they regretted what they'd done. Maybe not. But it doesn't matter. Because I chose my daughter. And I'll choose her every single time.